When all hope died, a Deathworlder fleet answered the SOS. Human warships emerged from the void. The planet Varos had burned for months. Its cities lay in ruins, and the skies were thick with black smoke. The people of Varos, known as the Deathworlders, had fought bravely, but their enemies were too many. They were cornered, outnumbered, and outgunned. Hope had died long ago. Captain Lena Ward stood on the bridge of the Varosian flagship, her hands gripping the railing. Her eyes scanned the battle outside the viewport. Explosions lit the dark void as alien ships tore through the remains of her fleet. Around her, her crew moved quickly, issuing commands and reporting damage, but there was no comfort in their words. The Deathworlder fleet was shattered, and she knew that survival was unlikely. "Captain," said a young officer named Peter Lane, his voice trembled. "The forward shields are failing. We can't hold them much longer." Lena took a deep breath. She had expected this. "Send a distress signal," she said. "All frequencies, wide. Make it loud enough that anyone hears it." Peter hesitated. "We've tried, no one listens. Our neighbors have fallen too, or they are hiding. There's no one left in this sector." "Then let them hear us," Lena replied. "We fight until the end, but if we are to die, we will at least die knowing we tried everything." The crew hurried to carry out her orders. The SOS signal was sent across every frequency the Deathworlders could use. Lena watched as the message pulsed into space. She whispered a prayer not for herself, but for the people who had nowhere to run. Hours passed. The alien fleet closed in, their weapons cutting through the remaining shields. The Varosian ships fought with courage, but the enemy was relentless. It seemed that all would be lost. Then, from the far edges of the system, a glimmer appeared. It was faint at first, a small group of ships moving with calm precision. Lena squinted at the viewports. "What is that?" she asked. A voice came from the communications officer. "Unidentified fleet." "They're human." Lena froze. Humans. She had read about them in old records, but she had never believed the stories. Humans were said to be unpredictable, strong, and clever fighters. She had not thought she would see them. And yet, here they were, moving through the void with a confidence that made the enemy hesitate. The humans didn't announce themselves. They didn't send a message or demand surrender. They just appeared, emerging from the darkness like shadows made of steel. Their warships were unlike anything the Deathworlders had seen. Sleek, powerful, and armed with weapons that glowed with strange energy. One of the alien commanders noticed them too. He barked orders to his fleet, trying to adjust their attack, but it was too late. The humans moved faster than thought possible. Their ships struck with precision, taking down alien vessels with efficiency and force. Lena could hardly believe her eyes. They're saving us," she whispered. Peter looked at her, awe in his eyes. "It's real. They're really here." The humans did not waste time. They attacked the enemy with ruthless skill. Alien ships that had been confident moments before were now fleeing or exploding. It was as if the humans had a plan, a strategy that no one could match. On the bridge of the human flagship, Captain Samuel Hayes watched the battle with calm eyes. He was not new to war, and he had seen death many times, but this fight was different. The SOS had reached him. He knew what it meant to answer a call for help when everyone else had failed, and he was not about to let these Deathworlders fall. "Keep pushing forward," he said to his officers. "They called us when hope was gone. We don't fail anyone." His fleet moved like a single living thing. Ships split, reformed, and struck with a precision that seemed almost impossible. The aliens had never fought humans before, and they did not understand the speed or creativity of their attacks. Every human ship acted independently but in perfect harmony with the others. Back on the Varosian flagship, Lena watched the tide of battle change. Tears streamed down her face, but they were not from fear. They were from relief, from wonder, from hope reborn. Humans, the mysterious warriors of old stories, had come when all seemed lost. For a moment, the chaos stopped in her mind. She thought of the people of Varos, of the families trapped in ruined cities, of the children who had never seen peace. If the humans held the line, maybe, just maybe, they would live. "Captain," Peter said, voice shaking, "they're moving toward the planet. They'll clear a path. We can evacuate the civilians." Lena nodded. Her heart was heavy with exhaustion and fear, but now there was purpose. "Prepare the transports," she said. "Get every person off the surface. We leave now. Follow the humans." The humans moved through the void like a storm. They struck alien formations, shattered weapon arrays, and protected the fleeing transports. Every move was precise, every action purposeful. The Deathworlders had never seen such skill. Even their best fighters could not match the humans. One young Varosian pilot named Carla Finn flew her small fighter alongside the humans. Her hands shook as she fired her weapons, but the humans moved around her, protecting her ship from incoming fire. She could hear their calm commands over the radio, simple words but full of authority. "Stay on course," one human voice said. "We've got you," Carla laughed through her fear. "They really do fight like the stories said," she whispered. Hours passed as the evacuation continued. The Deathworlder ships that remained fought desperately, buying time for the civilians. Humans fell in line with them, striking at the enemy with brutal efficiency. The alien fleet, which had seemed unstoppable, began to retreat. Lena watched the destruction from the viewport. She had never seen anything like it. Humans were not just strong or skilled, they were relentless. They moved like hunters, striking with purpose, yet showing mercy to those they were saving. When the last of the civilians were aboard the transports, Lena turned to Peter. "Prepare a message to the humans," she said. "We need to thank them. We owe them everything." Peter hesitated. "They'll not hear us. They are already moving into the next sector." Lena smiled, understanding. "It doesn't matter. They came when we had no hope." "That is thanks enough." From the void, the human fleet disappeared as silently as it had come. The Deathworlders watched them go, hearts full of awe and gratitude. For the first time in months, the people of Varos felt something they had not felt in a long time: hope. Lena looked at the stars and whispered, "We are not alone." And for the first time in a long while she believed it. The survivors of Varos gathered on the transports, their faces pale, eyes wide with disbelief. They had watched their world burn, their homes destroyed, their friends and families lost. And now humans were guiding them through the void to safety. It felt unreal, almost like a dream. Captain Lena Ward walked among the people, checking on them and offering what little comfort she could. Her uniform was scorched, her hair tangled from the long hours of battle, but she moved with calm determination. The humans had saved them, yes, but the danger was not over. The alien fleet had not disappeared. It had only retreated. On one of the transports, Lena met a young man named Simon Hale. He had been a mechanic on Varos, repairing ships that were now ash. His hands were black with soot, his face streaked with tears. Yet when he saw the humans fighting, something in his expression changed. "They're incredible," Simon said, staring at the viewport. "How can they fight like that?" "They are humans," Lena replied, her voice quiet but steady. "They do not fight like any other race. They are strong, clever, and fearless. They will save us if we follow them." Simon shook his head. "It doesn't seem real. We were doomed, and now," he trailed off, lost for words. "Now we survive," Lena said firmly. "And survival means we learn, we watch them, we help them. If we hope to rebuild, we have to understand what it means to fight like a human." Meanwhile, the human fleet regrouped several light minutes away from Varos. Captain Samuel Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship, scanning the reports from his officers. "Status?" he asked. Lieutenant Claire Benson, his communications officer, replied, "All transports are moving safely. The Deathworlder survivors are secure. Enemy fleet is regrouping at the edge of the system. They may strike again, sir." Hayes nodded. "Then we prepare." The SOS was not a request to watch them die. "We will fight until every last one is safe." He turned to his tactical officer, a young man named Leo Grant. Form 3 attack squads. Use the humans' advantage in speed and range. Force them to respond to us, not the other way around. Keep the transports protected. Yes, sir, Leo said, already plotting maneuvers on the holographic display. Back on the transports, Lena gathered her officers for a quick briefing. We are not just passengers, she said. We have ships, weapons, and people who know this system better than anyone. We must assist the humans. They may be strong, but they do not know this world as we do. A pilot named Carla Finn, who had flown in the battle before, spoke up. What do you want us to do? Scout, Lena said. Map the enemy movements, report to the humans, and if we can, strike weak points. We survive by working with them, not against them. The Deathworlders worked quickly. Using the small fighters they had managed to save, they flew reconnaissance missions under the cover of human warships. They watched the enemy fleet carefully, noting positions, weak spots, and patrol patterns. Every piece of information was relayed to the humans. In space, the alien fleet gathered at the outer edge of the system. Their commander, a tall, thin figure with pale skin and sharp features, observed the humans from the viewport of his flagship. They are clever, he hissed. They move faster than expected. They protect the transports. They are unusual. An officer spoke up, trembling. Sir, they are humans. We have never fought them. Our weapons may not be enough. The commander's eyes narrowed. We will not underestimate them, destroy the transports, crush the Deathworlders. And then we will deal with the humans. The aliens launched their attack carefully, striking with long-range weapons first. Explosions lit the void as several transports shuddered under fire. Panic began to spread among the Deathworlders, but the humans were ready. Their ships moved in a fluid, almost dance-like pattern. They struck the alien ships that attacked, then moved to shield the transports. Every maneuver was calculated, yet seemed spontaneous, as if each ship had a mind of its own. On one transport, Simon Hale gripped the railing as blaster fire shook the hull. They're going to hit us, he shouted. They won't, Lena replied, her voice calm. Follow the humans, stay on course, trust them. Indeed, the humans struck with precision. Alien ships that had aimed for the transports were torn apart before their weapons could reach their target. Captain Hayes' orders were clear, and every officer executed them perfectly. Aboard one of the smaller human ships, a pilot named Rachel Cole raced alongside an alien cruiser. Her craft darted through the void with incredible speed. She fired a concentrated energy beam, striking the cruiser's weak point. The alien ship exploded, sending fragments into space. Good hit, another pilot called over the comm. Rachel smiled. We're just getting started. Meanwhile, Lena coordinated with her own small squadron. Using information from scouting missions, they targeted enemy supply ships, crippling the alien fleet's ability to continue the attack. Though their ships were weaker, the knowledge of the terrain gave them an advantage. The humans noticed. Captain Hayes observed Lena's squadron and nodded. They are brave, he said. They understand more than we thought. Keep them in the loop. Their knowledge will save lives. As the battle continued, the alliance between humans and Deathworlders grew stronger. Humans covered the transports, destroyed enemy ships, and protected retreating fighters. Deathworlders provided information, local tactics, and support where humans had less familiarity. Together, they became a force far greater than the sum of their parts. During a brief lull in the battle, Lena and Hayes met via a secure communications link. Captain Ward, Hayes said, your people fought well. You've saved many lives today. Lena nodded. Thanks to you. Without your fleet, we would have been annihilated, but we are not safe yet. The enemy will regroup. They will return stronger than before. Then we fight stronger, Hayes replied. Humans do not give up, neither should you. We will protect you and we will strike back. Lena felt a strange warmth hearing those words. Humans did not just fight, they inspired courage. They made the impossible seem possible. And in that moment she realized that survival was not enough. Victory could be within reach. The alien commander, frustrated by repeated losses, decided to change tactics. "Divide and isolate," he ordered. "Take the humans one by one. Use speed and numbers. Crush them before they can adapt." But humans adapted faster. They communicated instantly, predicted enemy movements, and coordinated attacks in ways that the aliens could not anticipate. Their ships could strike, retreat, and reposition faster than any alien vessel. On the surface of Varos, civilians watched as the sky filled with fire and explosions, even from orbit. But fear was mixed with awe. They saw humans racing to protect them, taking risks they themselves could not understand. Children whispered to their parents, "Humans are heroes, they will save us." Simon Hale, still on the transport, looked at Lena. "I never believed in stories. But seeing them, it feels like legends are real." "Yes," Lena replied. "Legends are real when humans are involved." The battle raged on for hours. Aliens tried to encircle the transports, but every move was countered by humans. Every attack was met with precision strikes. For the first time in months, Deathworlders felt hope that the enemy could be beaten, not just survived. Captain Hayes knew the fight was far from over. He sent his fleet into a daring maneuver, cutting through the center of the alien formation. Explosions lit the void as alien ships fell before the combined force of humans and Deathworlders. "Hold your positions," Hayes shouted. "Protect the transports. Strike where they are weak." The humans and Deathworlders fought as one, their coordination growing with every strike. The alien fleet, for all its numbers, began to falter. By the time the sun rose over Varos, the battle was turning in their favor. Alien ships retreated, leaving behind wreckage and chaos. The humans hovered near the transports, ensuring that every Deathworlder ship and civilian could escape safely. On the flagship of Varos, Lena looked at the battlefield and felt a strange sense of pride. Her people were still alive. They had been saved. And they had begun to understand the humans who had arrived when all hope had died. Captain Hayes' voice came over the comm one last time. "This is not the end. We will continue to fight. We will make sure your world survives. You are not alone." Lena smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in months. "We are ready," she whispered. "Ready to fight, ready to survive, and ready to learn from them." The humans and Deathworlders now shared more than survival. They shared trust, courage, and the first sparks of an alliance that could change the galaxy. And for the first time in what felt like forever, the people of Varos dared to hope that their world could be rebuilt, not just with human help, but with human strength beside them. The system around Varos was quiet now, but the silence was deceptive. The alien fleet had retreated for the moment, leaving behind wreckage and survivors scattered in space. Deathworlder ships and human warships moved among the debris, rescuing stranded pilots and collecting supplies. Yet no one believed the fight was over. Captain Lena Ward stood on the bridge of her flagship, staring at the remains of the battle. Even though humans had arrived and turned the tide, the enemy was still out there. They were patient, cunning, and capable of returning stronger. Peter Lane, her young officer, approached nervously. "Captain, reports indicate enemy movement in the outer rim of the system. They're regrouping." Lena nodded. "We expected as much. Prepare our scouts. We need to know their numbers and positions before they strike again." Meanwhile, the humans were already analyzing the situation. Captain Samuel Hayes held a meeting with his senior officers on the flagship bridge. Holographic displays showed the alien fleet's positions, damage, and possible reinforcements. "They will not give up," Hayes said. "We've delayed them, but they are planning their next strike. We need to find a way to force them into a disadvantage." Lieutenant Claire Benson tapped her fingers on the display. "We could use the debris field left from their retreat. It can act as a trap. We lure them through it and their ships will be slowed or damaged. Our fighters can strike with precision." Hayes considered this. "It's risky, but it may be the only way to weaken them before they hit the transports again. Prepare the team. I want every ship briefed and ready." Lena joined Hayes on the communications link. "Captain Hayes, our scouts can guide your fleet through the system. We know every hazard, every asteroid belt. We can help you set the trap." Hayes nodded. "Good. We'll need your pilots in the front line. Your knowledge could save lives." The alliance between humans and Deathworlders was growing stronger. Small groups of Deathworlder fighters now flew alongside human squadrons, sharing positions, hazards, and enemy weaknesses. Humans, in turn, taught Deathworlder pilots new maneuvers, tactics, and ways to coordinate attacks with lightning speed. One of Lena's pilots, Carla Finn, flew a patrol near the outer rim. She spotted a group of alien ships moving cautiously. She radioed in, "Captain Ward, enemy ships are regrouping near the asteroid field. I can track them, but they're alert." "Good work, Carla," Lena replied. "Keep them in sight. Wait for the humans' signal before engaging." The humans were already preparing their plan. Small squads would split off, drawing the aliens toward the debris field. Larger ships would remain hidden, ready to strike the enemy when they were trapped and disorganized. Rachel Cole, one of the human pilots, led her squad toward the alien formation. She moved with confidence, weaving between asteroids, firing at distant targets to provoke a reaction. The aliens took the bait. Their ships accelerated toward the decoy, intent on destroying the humans they thought were vulnerable. But as they entered the dense debris field, chaos erupted. Asteroids collided with their ships, slowing some and destroying others. Human and Deathworlder fighters struck swiftly, taking advantage of the confusion. The aliens had underestimated the trap, and the result was devastating. On the Varosian flagship, Lena watched the battle unfold. Her heart pounded. She saw young Deathworlder pilots, some barely trained, surviving and thriving under human guidance. The humans fought not only with power but with skill and patience. Every strike was calculated, every move deliberate. Peter Lane observed the battle next to her. "There, amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Even with our guidance, the humans are the ones who are winning this." Lena nodded. "That's why they are here. They come when all hope dies, and they change the impossible into reality." Hours passed as the trap claimed alien ships one by one. The humans used their superior speed and firepower to control the battlefield. Deathworlders learned quickly, seeing new ways to fight, ways that made the aliens hesitate for the first time in years. But the aliens were not finished. The commander of the enemy fleet, furious at the losses, ordered his hidden forces to strike at the humans directly. A squad of cloaked ships emerged from a dark sector, aiming to flank the human fleet. "Incoming," Claire Benson shouted. "Cloaked ships detected." "They're trying to bypass our trap." Hayes did not panic. "All units focus fire, protect the flank. Do not let them escape." Rachel Cole and her squad turned toward the cloaked threat. The human pilots adjusted instantly, attacking with coordinated strikes. Their speed was unmatched. The cloaked ships tried to outmaneuver them, but humans predicted their movements. One by one, the alien ships fell. Carla Finn, observing from her smaller fighter, whispered to herself, "They're unstoppable. They fight like nothing I've ever seen." The battle continued deep into the Varosian night. Explosions lit the void, sending debris flying in every direction. The alliance of humans and Deathworlders moved as one. Deathworlder pilots, once afraid, now fought with courage and confidence inspired by the humans beside them. On the ground, civilians watched as messages from orbit reached them. Screens displayed human ships guiding transports through the system. Children pointed at the sky, shouting with excitement. Families hugged, crying in relief. For the first time in months, the people of Varos felt safe. Simon Hale, now helping coordinate civilian movements on a transport, looked at Lena. "Do you think we'll ever fight like them?" Lena smiled. "We may not have their speed or firepower, but we can learn. We can survive and fight with courage. That is enough to make a difference." Captain Hayes watched the final wave of alien ships retreat through the communications feed. "They've learned something today," he said. "They've learned that humans do not give up, and that is a lesson that will follow them wherever they go." Lena transmitted a message to Hayes. "Your fleet saved us again. I do not know how to repay this debt." Hayes replied simply, "You repay it by surviving, by fighting alongside us, and by teaching your people what it means to be brave. That is enough." The Alliance now had a plan. Humans would stay to protect the transports while the remaining Deathworlder ships repaired and regrouped. Together, they would strike back at the enemy, reclaim lost territory, and ensure Varos would survive. The young Varosian pilots, once fearful and inexperienced, now flew with purpose. They had seen what humans could do, and they had begun to adopt some of their tactics. It was not perfect, but it was enough to give hope that they could defend themselves in future battles. Meanwhile, the alien commander, watching the retreat, seethed with anger. His fleet had lost many ships. The humans were clever, fast, and unpredictable. The Deathworlders had learned quickly. He realized that the war he had expected to be simple and decisive was turning into something far more difficult. "They are learning," he growled. "And worse, they are adapting. We must rethink our strategy." But even as he planned, the humans were already moving. Captain Hayes ordered a survey of the system, preparing for the next strike. They would not wait for the enemy to recover. Humans did not wait. Humans acted. Lena and her officers prepared their own ships. They repaired damaged hulls, resupplied weapons, and trained new pilots on human tactics. The experience had taught them that survival depended on courage, skill, and teamwork. And now, under human guidance, they had all three. The stars above Varos were quiet again, but the people of the planet felt a change. Fear was no longer the dominant feeling. Hope had returned. Humans had appeared when all hope had died, and their presence had rekindled a spark that no alien fleet could extinguish. As night fell, Lena stood on the bridge of her flagship looking at the stars. She thought of her people, her pilots, and the humans who had fought beside them. "They are not invincible," she whispered, "but they show us what it means to never give up." And somewhere in the darkness of space, Captain Hayes watched his fleet, ready for the next move. Humans did not rest. Humans did not falter. And now the people of Varos would fight with them, side by side. The next battle was coming. And when it arrived, humans and Deathworlders would meet it together, stronger than ever before. The alien fleet had retreated, but Captain Samuel Hayes knew the fight was far from over. From the reports, the enemy had regrouped at a hidden system several light days away. They were repairing their ships, reinforcing their defenses, and preparing for another strike. Hayes did not intend to wait. The humans, along with the Deathworlders, would take the fight to them. On the Varosian flagship, Captain Lena Ward gathered her officers. "The enemy thinks they can recover in hiding," she said. "They are wrong. We strike now with the humans at our side. This is our chance to weaken them permanently." Peter Lane nodded. "But it will be dangerous. Their defenses are stronger than anything we've faced." "Danger is nothing new," Lena replied. "We survived Varos. We will survive this. And we have humans with us now. That makes the impossible possible." The combined fleet moved quietly through the void. Human warships led the formation, followed by Varosian cruisers and fighters. Each ship knew its role. Humans would break the enemy lines, Deathworlders would strike weak points, and transports would remain safely behind. Carla Finn, leading a small squadron of Varosian fighters, looked at the humans flying beside her. "I never imagined we'd fight like this," she said into the calm. "It feels different." Rachel Cole, one of the human squadron leaders, replied with a smile, "It should. This is how we fight. Quick, coordinated, and never letting the enemy control the pace. Watch and learn. We'll show you what it means to be relentless." Hours passed as the fleet approached the enemy system. Sensors detected alien ships scattered among asteroids, mining stations, and hidden bases. The aliens had hoped to remain unseen, but humans were skilled trackers. Every hidden ship, every patrol, every supply depot was located before the first strike began. Captain Hayes gave the order. Attack runs in 5 minutes. Stick to the plan. Protect the transports. We hit hard, fast, and without mercy. On the Varosian bridge, Lena relayed the order to her fighters. "This is it," she said. "Stay close to the humans. We follow their lead and strike where they strike. Trust them and trust each other." The first wave moved in. Human warships fired long-range energy cannons, cutting through alien defenses. Explosions lit the darkness, sending fragments of destroyed ships spinning into space. The enemy scrambled to respond, but humans were already striking again, faster than they could react. Carla Finn's squadron darted through the chaos, targeting alien fighters attempting to flank the humans. Her small ship shook under fire, but she followed Rachel Cole's lead, firing with precision and dodging incoming blasts. "This is insane," Carla said, laughing despite the fear. "I've never moved this fast, never fired like this before." "Good," Rachel replied. "Keep it up. Let them feel our speed and skill." Back on the flagship, Lena watched the battle unfold. Her heart raced. Alien ships exploded, their formations breaking under the combined assault. Deathworlders, once outmatched and desperate, now fought with confidence. Humans had shown them how to attack and defend with strategy, patience, and precision. Peter Lane looked at her. "I can't believe it. They're tearing through the enemy fleet like it's nothing." Lena nodded. "It's not nothing, it's humans. They are relentless, and they are teaching us to be relentless too." The aliens, realizing they were losing control, activated hidden weapon platforms on the surfaces of asteroids. Giant energy cannons opened fire on the human fleet, causing massive explosions. Several Varosian cruisers were damaged. Panic spread through some of the less experienced pilots. Hayes remained calm. "Form up," he ordered. "We predicted this. Use the debris for cover. Strike the platforms from angles they do not expect. Focus fire." Rachel Cole and her squadron weaved between asteroids, dodging fire and returning shots with deadly accuracy. Carla Finn followed, firing at alien fighters and platforms, protecting civilians and transports behind them. In the chaos, Lena noticed a group of alien ships trying to escape the fight. "Peter, target them. Don't let them regroup." Peter nodded, directing Varosian fighters to intercept. Together with human ships, they struck the fleeing vessels, cutting off any chance of reinforcements. The aliens realized their retreat was blocked, forcing them into a desperate stand. Hours of relentless fighting followed. Energy blasts tore through the void, asteroids collided with ships, and alarms blared across every bridge. Yet humans never faltered. Every pilot, every officer, and every ship worked in perfect synchronization. The Deathworlders followed, learning from every move, firing at weak points and protecting the transports. On one of the humans' smaller ships, pilot Jason Mills dodged a large alien cruiser's fire and returned shots with precision. "I've never seen them fight like this," he said into the comm. "They adapt faster than anything we've faced." "Keep focused," Rachel Cole replied. "This is what humans do. We never stop and we never hesitate. Take that lesson to heart." On the ground, civilians on Varos watched the communication feed. Screens showed human ships and Varosian fighters moving through the enemy system. Children pointed, parents held their hands tightly, but a feeling of awe spread through them. Humans had come when hope died, and now they were taking the fight to the enemy, showing that fear would not win. Simon Hale, coordinating the transports, felt a strange pride. "We may not have their speed or firepower," he whispered, "but we are learning. We can fight too." The battle reached its climax near the central asteroid field, where the alien fleet had hidden their command base. Human and Deathworlder ships worked together to clear defenders, disable energy shields, and open a path to the base. Captain Hayes gave the order. "Target the command base. Fire at will. Keep moving. We finished this fight today. Energy beams struck the base, explosions rocked the surrounding asteroids, and alien ships were destroyed in waves. Varosian fighters followed human tactics, taking out smaller defenses, rescuing civilians trapped on nearby ships and blocking alien reinforcements. Lena watched, her heart pounding. "We can do this," she said quietly. "We will survive. We will win." The alien commander, seeing his fleet crumble, realized the humans were unstoppable. Every attack they predicted was countered. Every maneuver they planned was anticipated. Fear and frustration replaced confidence in his eyes. They cannot be defeated," he hissed. "They are different." Finally, the command base exploded in a massive fireball, sending debris scattering across the void. The alien fleet broke apart, fleeing in panic. Human and Deathworlder forces pursued them for a short distance, ensuring no ship would return to the fight. For the first time in months, the combined fleet of humans and Deathworlders could breathe. The enemy was broken, scattered, and demoralized. Hope, which had been almost gone, now burned bright. Captain Hayes contacted Lena. "The base is destroyed. The enemy is retreating." "Your people fought well. You've earned this victory." Lena smiled, exhaustion mixed with relief. "We could not have done it without you. Humans, you've shown us what it means to fight, to survive, and to win when all hope seemed lost." Rachel Cole, still flying among the debris, called over the comm. "Remember this moment. This is what humans fight for. This is what we do when no one else can. And you are learning fast." Carla Finn, flying beside her, grinned. "I never imagined I'd survive a fight like this, and now I feel ready for anything." On Varos, civilians cheered as the news reached them. Families hugged, children laughed, and people dared to hope for a future again. Humans had not only saved them, they had taught them courage, unity, and strength. Lena turned to Peter Lane. "We have survived, we have learned, and we have hope. That is more than victory, that is life." Simon Hale whispered to himself, watching the stars. "They came when all hope died, and now we live." As the combined fleet prepared to return to Varos, Hayes addressed all crews. "This fight is won, but the war is not over. Humans will continue to fight, to protect, and to show the galaxy that hope cannot be destroyed. Remember this lesson. Stand together, fight together, and never give up." And in the quiet of space, for the first time in a long time, the people of Varos felt safe, inspired, and ready to rebuild. The enemy may still lurk in the shadows, but now humans and Deathworlders were ready. Together they were unstoppable. The enemy had fled, broken, and scattered. Their command base lay in ruins, and their fleet was no longer a threat, at least for now. The combined human and Deathworlder forces hovered above Varos, tending to the wounded, salvaging ships, and repairing what had been damaged. The war was not completely over, but for the first time in months, the people of Varos could breathe. Captain Lena Ward stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking out at the stars. Humans and Deathworlders moved among the debris like coordinated shadows. It was a sight she could hardly believe, her people alive, learning, fighting, and thriving under the guidance of these incredible human warriors. Peter Lane approached her. "Captain, reports from the fleet say all transports are safe. Casualties were heavy, but we survived." "Your orders and the humans' tactics saved many lives." Lena nodded. "This is only the beginning. The aliens will recover eventually. But we now have something they do not: experience, knowledge, and allies who are unmatched in the galaxy." Meanwhile, Captain Samuel Hayes convened his officers on the human flagship. Holographic displays showed the remnants of the alien fleet, scattered and unable to regroup. "We've weakened them," Hayes said, "but we can't assume they're gone for good. We need to prepare Varos for long-term defense. Teach them, train them, and make sure they can survive if we are not here." Lieutenant Claire Benson spoke up. "Sir, their technology is different, but the Deathworlders are fast learners. They've adapted to our tactics and even developed new maneuvers during the battle." Hayes nodded. "Then we do not just save them, we make them stronger. A civilization that can defend itself is more valuable than one that depends entirely on us. On the Varosian flagship, Lena coordinated with the human fleet to begin training her people. Small fighters practiced maneuvers alongside human squadrons. Cruisers learned coordinated attack patterns and defensive strategies. Civilians received instructions on survival, resource management, and emergency procedures. Carla Finn flew with Rachel Cole in a training exercise. She executed sharp turns, barrel rolls, and precise firing drills. "I never thought I'd fly like this," Carla said, exhilarated. "I feel unstoppable." "You will be," Rachel replied. "Humans survive because we don't stop. We adapt, we fight, and we protect what we care about. Now you'll learn to do the same." Across the fleet, Deathworlders began to trust themselves in ways they never had before. They had seen the humans act with courage, decisiveness, and speed. They had watched the impossible become possible. And now, they were ready to take that courage into their own hands. Below, on the surface of Varos, civilians started the long process of rebuilding. Homes, markets, and community centers were damaged or destroyed, but hope had returned. Children laughed as they watched distant space battles simulated in the sky, unaware of the danger humans and Deathworlders had faced just hours earlier. Families hugged each other tightly, knowing survival was no longer a distant dream but a reality. Simon Hale, once a simple mechanic, now coordinated efforts between engineers, pilots, and human officers. He looked at the fleet above, thinking of the humans who had changed everything. "They came when all hope was gone," he whispered, "and now everything feels possible." The human fleet prepared to leave Varos, but Hayes understood their responsibility was not yet complete. Before departing, he addressed both humans and Deathworlders over a galaxy-wide communication channel. "People of Varos," he said, "we came when you had no hope. We fought beside you, taught you, and ensured your survival. But remember this, hope is not given, it is earned. Courage is not inherited, it is chosen. Continue to fight, continue to learn, and continue to protect each other. You are stronger than you know." On the Varosian flagship, Lena listened, her eyes filled with tears. "We will not forget," she whispered. "We will be ready next time. We will honor what humans have taught us." The humans began their departure, moving silently through the void. Their warships, symbols of strength and determination, disappeared among the stars. Yet their influence remained, leaving the Deathworlders with knowledge, courage, and confidence. Lena and her officers returned to training and rebuilding. They organized squads, coordinated patrols, and instructed young pilots in human tactics. Each exercise built skill and trust. Each drill inspired courage and determination. Varos was no longer a planet waiting for rescue. It was a planet preparing to defend itself. Days later, reports came from the far edges of the system. Alien scouts were spotted, cautiously observing Varos from a distance. Their numbers were small, their movements calculated. The enemy had not forgotten, but they had also learned to fear. Lena prepared a message to Hayes. "The enemy is still out there. They are cautious now, aware of our strength." Hayes replied, "Good, fear is a powerful teacher. They know the price of underestimating humans. Teach them well. Continue to fight, survive, and grow stronger. You are not alone, but you must be ready to act on your own." Varosian pilots trained day and night, moving with skill and precision. Fighters executed maneuvers once only performed by humans. Coordinated strikes were practiced over simulations. The fleet, once desperate and fearful, now moved with confidence and purpose. Carla Finn led her squadron in a training sortie. She executed precise barrel rolls, flanked simulated enemies, and called out commands to her team. "This is nothing compared to fighting humans in real battle," she said. "But I feel ready. We can defend our planet." On the flagship, Lena looked at the young pilots, the engineers, and the civilians learning the art of survival. "Humans gave us hope," she said, But we take it from here. We will defend our people. We will honor their sacrifice. And we will never forget what it means to fight when all hope dies. Across the galaxy, humans continued their own missions, answering distress signals, protecting weaker civilizations, and striking fear into any who threatened peace. Stories of their arrival at Varos spread rapidly, legends of warriors who came from the void when all seemed lost. Simon Hale walked among the rebuilt streets of Varos, watching children play and families thrive. "I never thought I'd see this," he said. "We were doomed. And now we live, because of them, because of us, and because we chose to fight back." Lena stood on the bridge of her flagship looking at the stars where humans had disappeared. She whispered to herself, "We are ready. We will fight, we will survive, and we will grow stronger." Humanity showed us the way. The people of Varos no longer felt small or powerless. They had survived impossible odds. They had learned from the strongest warriors in the galaxy, and they had begun to write their own story, a story of courage, strength, and determination. The alien threat remained, lurking in the darkness, but now it knew the people of Varos were no longer victims. They were fighters, trained and guided by humans. They were ready, and the galaxy took notice. The legend of the humans who emerged from the void when all hope died spread among star systems. Civilizations whispered their names, shared stories of their courage, and remembered their deeds. But more importantly, the humans had taught one crucial lesson. Even when hope dies, courage can rise. Even in the darkest moments, strength can emerge. And when humans fight beside those who are willing to learn, victory is not just possible, it is inevitable. Back on Varos, the final survivors looked up at the stars, feeling the warmth of hope again. Captain Lena Ward addressed her people. "We have survived, we have learned, and we are ready. We will honor the humans by never giving up, by defending our home, and by teaching future generations to fight with courage, skill, and heart." Carla Finn, standing among new pilots, smiled. "We will never forget them, and now we are ready for whatever comes next." The humans had left, but their influence remained. Varos had been saved not just by their power, but by their guidance, courage, and example. The Deathworlders had grown stronger. They had learned to fight, to survive, and to hope again. And somewhere in the void, beyond the stars, the legend of humanity continued to grow. A legend that promised one truth above all: when humans arrive, no hope is ever truly lost. The stars above Varos shone brighter that night, reflecting the courage, strength, and unity of a world reborn. And in that light, the people of Varos knew one certainty: they were ready for the future, no matter what the galaxy might bring.